Currently the world is being affected by excessive plastic pollution, which has been highly increased by the arrival of the pandemic generated by the coronavirus, putting in check not only the environment, but can cause serious health problems for communities that consume fish with toxic micro and nanoplastics, as revealed by research conducted by the United Nations Programme for the Environment. This research also indicates that every year, more than 8 million tons of plastic end up in the world's oceans, mainly affecting ecosystems, biodiversity and human health. In Colombia, about 163,000 tons of plastic material are being used annually, thanks to the hard work of recyclers and processing industries. Cities such as Bogotá and Medellín have managed to transform 13,000 tons of plastic waste per month, according to figures provided by the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. Colombia's Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development has set a goal of achieving a 12% recycling rate indicator by 2022 and that by 2030, 100% of single-use plastics placed on the market will be reusable, recyclable or compostable. The issue of the recovery of post-consumer materials that are normally generated in homes. For the industries there is a regulatory issue that is already forcing them to make this classification, separation and disposal of these materials to give them to responsible companies and make a good disposal of them. But for households, or the issue of what is generated by post-consumption, let's say the standard is very flexible. Approximately per family of 4 people can generate around 35 kilos of solid waste per year, and of the use of this, at most, we have 10%. Because there is no culture of care for the environment, because there is a lack of training, perhaps in how to correctly separate waste. The idea is that there is a very important educational component. I know that Guarne has given a lot of strength to the educational component by doing door-to-door campaigns on the subject of classification of usable materials, not only plastic, cardboard, scrap metal, everything that is generated within a household. How can we make better use of this waste? What we can do is, for example, mothers, who are normally the ones in the homes, can use all the plastics in which the cookies, beans, rice, meat, vegetables, children's diapers, wipes, etc. are packaged. Separate them from all the other waste and start saving them to give them to the different companies that do these processes or to the primary recyclers, who are the ones who do a very nice job in the streets of our municipalities, where they collect all these materials and make them reach us. What would not go in bottles, in bags, in sacks, wherever you want to keep them. Contaminated materials should not go there, especially plastics, cardboard, glass, among other materials that can be recycled but would not go here. I know that there are municipalities, there are places where there is no sorting, the public utilities companies, the administrations have not yet implemented sorting, and people tell us that they do the sorting, and that it is very sad when the man who collects the garbage arrives, and they did the exercise of separating and they put it all together. What we ask them is not to take it out of the car. Take it out to the recycler. To the recycler. They are the recyclers, they are the ones who collect all these materials, gather them in places they have available, classify them many times to give an added value to that product, and they are the ones who take them to our plants to turn them into products that will be useful for the population, right? One very important thing when they are going to do the classification, for example from home when the bags are contaminated, either with milk, yogurt, among other liquids, it is important that they can wash them, rinse them, hopefully with recycled water, and when they finish being washed in the washing machine, they can rinse them, hang them for a while, and when they are dry they can keep them perfectly. What happens with this? If we do not do this, the materials will be contaminated and we will not be able to make the use that should be made of them. I have told people, do an exercise, put 5 kilos of cardboard under your armpit and walk for blocks so that they can see that people are selfish, and I think that when I give the recycler the job, no, he is doing the most important part, and that is to collect all that and take it to the specific point. If he does not collect all that material that we generate wherever we walk over the plastic, over all that garbage, that they are the ones who are collecting it to be able to give it disposal. Well, Project Plast is a company that was born out of necessity. We, the family, we liked the whole issue of fishing, the countryside, and we saw that in the place where we were in the municipality of San Rafael, the dams and rivers were full of plastic and all of this. There was a big problem in the municipality of San Rafael and surrounding municipalities, and it is the contamination of water sources based on plastics that came out of tourism and poor management of solid waste. With this problem we also leveraged, and seeing all this environmental need, we wanted to put all this together and start what is today Project Plast. Besides, we were studying a stage technology in design and decoration of spaces, and when the time came to present our degree work, we said we were going to do it based on the theme of plastic, the use of plastic. Taking advantage of an economic need, taking advantage of the experience that my husband has in the handling of plastics. Then we took advantage of these. We set up the degree project and began to do the different investigations that were required to be able to formalize it. To go from a degree project to wanting to make a company. Well, we already had some knowledge acquired, and according to this we came to Project Plast. Project Plast is a green business in the Municipality of Guarne that is dedicated to the use and valuation of plastic waste for the transformation and production of plastic wood. These pieces of plastic wood are used to produce pallets, playgrounds, homes and other fixtures. What makes Project Plast a green business is not only this part of environmental sustainability through the use of inorganic waste as flexible plastics, but the linkage at the level of articulation with other actors in the territory, such as associations of recyclers who are responsible for supplying this raw material, and another of the characteristics of a green business, which is profitability, which is another of the evaluation criteria that we have within the Perez business program. Plastic wood is a term given to a profile that is destroyed, which is the process of destruction. For example, for plastic wood the technical process is destruction in atmospheric molds, and not having as or wanting to show that profile and compare it with the theme of the vegetable. Then they called them plastic wood, but in reality, it is a plastic profile similar to a profile of plast wood, but this is true plastic, so it is coined as the theme of plastic wood. The advantage of products manufactured with plastic or wood plastic profiles is the durability issue. It is mainly, let's say, the biggest advantage. Why? Because while a wooden profile, let's say it is immunized, can last about 20 years, a plastic wood profile can last about 500 years, the same module. The second part is that it is a product that is thermoacoustic, that is to say, it is very good in the topic of the constructions outside the internal and external temperatures of the product are maintained, the resistance is very good, it is not equal to the vegetable wood, it is not equal to a vegetable wood speaking a fine wood, but it reaches very good resistances. That gives for the construction of bridges, which can fulfill with norms, let us say, seismic resistant or construction norms demanded by Colombia in the topic of the NTSC for construction norms. It is a product that is very moldable and does not have a capillarity as wood has. That is, we can introduce a plastic profile to water and the amount of moisture it can absorb is very small in relation to a vegetable element, right? So this gives all these advantages of being able to build on very humid places and with the peace of mind that there will be no product degradation or rotting. These are the advantages of plastic wood with vegetable wood. Well, the process to reach the plastic profiles to the plastic wood starts when we do it from the industrial part. We go to the industries. We collect the surplus materials that are left over from post-industrial packaging manufacturing processes. We collect them and bring them to the plant. We make a polymeric classification. What is polymeric? We separate soft polyethylene from polypropylene, polyesters, laminates, etc. We process them in a machine, a mill, we grind them. Then we pass them to an agglutinating machine which turns them into small balls that identify them to us. Then we make mixtures. These mixtures are very important. Why? Because depending on these mixtures is where we can achieve the mechanical strength we need to create different products within the company. There is not a mixture for everything, no. It is a mixture that is determined by a process for each product. For example, when we make a plastic dunnage, we know that this dunnage will be subjected to some forces, that some dynamic loads or static loads. Apart from that, it will have some lateral forces at the time of a forklift to do the smoothing, lifting of the load, and it will be mounted on a load rack which will have a distance between beam separations, and that makes it dynamic loads, and we have to calculate and size this stowage so that it can meet the requirements of the industry, so that this stowage will not fail and first, will not cause an accident to people, second, will not cause damage to raw materials that the company may have stored. Then in this mixture is where we do that. We find that recipe to give the resistance that each product needs. These products, previously, have already been, let's say we send them to a laboratory. We have sent them to the EFIT University to make resistance, mechanical, bending, torsion resistance, hardness, capillarity, the issue of wear due to radiation, due to sunlight. All these products have some previous studies, which are useful for us to be able to make those, let's say, those calculations that are needed to make the different elements. This, for example, for the case of a stowage. But when we make a bridge, there are other mixtures, because there are going to be other types of loads. Apart from the fact that it also has a very important test, and it is the issue of safety. The pallets, for the case of pallets or products, for example, playgrounds for children, are manufactured with products that have no contamination, that will not have products harmful to the health of children, or there may be cross-contamination in a pallet of a product, Then they have a certificate of safety so that companies are reassured that that element does not have any product harmful to health or harmful. We are generating a very positive impact on the social part, because we are generating around 20 permanent jobs from the operational and administrative part. And we are generating indirect jobs that are helping not only one person but many people to benefit and have a better quality of life. Apart from this, we are helping our municipality and the surrounding regions to have a better disposal of plastic waste, especially so that this waste does not have to go to sanitary landfills, which implies that if it goes to sanitary landfills, the costs for the public utility companies will be much higher, and apart from this we run the risk of continuing to contaminate the water sources, so it is a work that is being done jointly. Another of the things we handle from the social part, we work with victims of the armed conflict, displaced people, among others. We are currently working with personnel with reduced physical mobility. We also have employees who come from other countries looking for new opportunities to generate a resource for them to subsist in our country, and to send resources to their families in their places of origin. So together we are contributing to our society to grow in a more positive way and generating a positive impact on the environment as well. Green business for us has been a plus. It has been a requirement that we were looking for how to link. Fortunately, through Guarne we arrived. We had the opportunity to train. They visited us and knew our processes and gave us the endorsement of a green business, which has allowed us to show that other side of these processes. This has allowed us to show the other side of these processes. The way in which we are all helping in one way or another to preserve the environment a little more, and to give the population new ways to build and teach them that what for some is garbage for others is a way to generate a resource and deliver a functional and environmentally friendly product. Well, from the Green Business Program we focus on accompanying these productive initiatives in 3 thematic lines. From the legal, technical, administrative and promotional issues with Project Plast we have already done different strategies. We have done accompaniment, participation in events and dissemination of the initiative and also being an ideal green business. We have delivered what is the endorsement of green business of the corporation that allows the use of the green business seal on labels, promotional pieces and everything that has to do with dissemination of the initiation. We say that we have a motto. Whatever you can imagine that can be done with vegetable wood, we can build it with plastic wood, right? The limit is your imagination. Well, this change does not come only from the big industries. I believe that the change comes from each one of us. If we all work together from our homes, which is one of the main sources of waste generation, our planet can improve and grow in a positive way. Then I think it is very important that from the child at home to the elderly, the big businessman becomes aware that we have a house in common and that it is our job. We the big ones to teach the little ones so they can continue with this education to take care of the planet. Then this is not only for a few, it is for everyone because this is a house in common. I know that there are industries and within this ecosystem and within the planet we live in. Somehow we all have to look at how we can get our resources to obtain everything we need to subsist. There are wood industries. There are plastic wood industries. There are other recycling industries, right? It is very important that we can consume products made of plastic wood, in case we need it, because it is also important to have crops from trees that are timber trees and that also do an important job because they are crops that have all their treatment, they have all their regulations. We also make our process with plastic wood, and we also want to promote and increase the purchase of products made of plastic wood. Because they are durable products, they are beautiful. They have many advantages. They are malleable, that is, they have many advantages, so we invite them to approach companies that do the same as us, or there are different ones in the market and that can also contribute in this way to make this exercise more and more massive. We can take it to more people. Well, finally, remember that the collection of this waste is not only the task of the companies, but that from our homes we can separate the waste, and that many of these flexible plastic inorganic wastes are the raw material to make the plastic wood that we can use in our projects. Well, one of the crazy dreams that I have, that we have, is to be able to not only have an impact in Colombia, but to be able to go to other regions of our planet and teach the communities how important it is to recycle, how important it is to transform what for many people is garbage into a great product for others. We would love to go to other countries that have problems, or properly in our country, to another department and teach them how it is done, how they can take advantage and how they generate a resource not only for a person but for a whole community. Another issue is to be able to encourage the farmer or the countryside to consume plastic wood products. For example, plastic stakes to avoid the felling of what is, let's say, the native forest where farmers need to be able to make, let's say, the staking of crops. We do it with plastic wood, and other companies also do it to be able to encourage this. This longer lasting product. A vegetable stake lasts 2 or 3 harvests. A plastic stake lasts for years. They are not harvests. They are years. So this is very important. It is very important to mention the green business issue for us and to have been able to acquire this green seal, because it says that we are a company that does it in a responsible, environmentally friendly way, that we comply with the protocols required to acquire this seal. This is very important for us and has given us credibility among other companies, because when people talk about recycling they think, first of all, that it is cheap, that it is useless, or that it is bad. And changing that chip with these seals has been very important for us, because people now know that there are regulations for all these things and that they must be complied with. I invite more companies to join the green seals, and that these green seals also become requirements, and that they become requirements to be able to make contracts with any entity, right?